This is the GIS Evening Report for Thursday, May 9th, 2024. I am Sherry Ann Noel. In the headlines, National Water and Sewage Authority to enforce restrictions on the use of water from this weekend. Details to this story and more after the break.
Are you thinking about buying a vehicle? Did you find a company on social media? Stop. It may be a scam. Look out for the following red flags. Is the price lower than other dealers? Does it seem too good to be true? Are you sending the monies to the US even though you are ordering the vehicle from Japan? Does the address on the invoice match the address on the payment details? Are conversations limited to WhatsApp text? Is there a sense of urgency placed on you by the seller? You are about to be scammed. Do not take your hard-earned cash or even worse, a loan to send to these scammers. Once the money leaves Grenada's shores, you are not likely to get it back. Consider buying a vehicle already on island from an individual or a car dealer. Beware of these scammers. If in doubt, it's best to stay out. A message from the Financial Intelligence Unit.
Welcome back. The National Water and Sewage Authority, NAWASA, will impose restrictions on water usage from Sunday, May 12th in response to a severe water shortage. These will prohibit the use of water for any activity deemed by the authority to require a significant or excessive quantity of water. The impending restrictions come amidst a prolonged period of below-average rainfall and water supply challenges. During a press conference on Thursday, Acting General Manager Mr. Terence Smith emphasized the urgent need for conservation measures to mitigate the strain on existing water reserves.
We are facing a severe drought condition. We are facing, first of all, a significant decrease in our rainfall, which means that we cannot harness enough water throughout our systems, mainly mainland Grenada, Carriacou and Petit Martinique each have a desalination plant. So their issues are very different to the ones we face on the mainland, right? So because of the lack of rainfall, we have a shortfall in the treated drinking water supply in many parts of mainland Grenada. That has reached a situation where we believe we are nearing what would technically be called a drought situation. We are in a position now where we can frankly speak of the term drought. Those are the conditions that we're facing. The level at which Granitang Lake has reached, our water resources guys say they have not seen that kind of level since the 2010 drought. And the various plant operators, where the supplies from the various plants are into May, it is not normal.
Mr. Smith says NAWASA will continue with its distribution efforts in communities that are severely affected.
It's important to understand that because it's a gravity-fed system, people at the extremities and at the higher elevations may not be as adequately served. How are we trying to address that? We're addressing that through truck-borne water. NAWASA has its own two relatively small water tankers, and of course in the private sector there are other much larger water tankers which convey water. As far as NAWASA is concerned, we have a schedule. We know where the at-risk supply areas are. We have, again, Mr. Bruno could go into further details, but we address this by doing a schedule and delivering water to people's tanks and receptacles and so forth.
Households are urged to prioritize water conservation as much as possible.
We find that too many customers do not have storage, any at all, or adequate storage, water tanks. Yeah? So you're taking yourself out of your own responsibility. As a nation on mainland Grenada, we have not made extensive use of rainwater harvesting. That is a fact. We're trying to change that. We're trying to promote the mainstreaming of rainwater harvesting, both under the GIS project as well as NAWASA's efforts going forward.
People who are in breach of the regulations can face up to 1 month imprisonment. Denise Boris, Corporate Secretary and Legal Counsel at NAWASA, explains.
The public must be aware that it is not just you cannot use the water for those purposes, and nothing can be done thereafter. This is actually backed by a section in the regulation which says that we can enforce these regulations by making it a criminal offense. So, for example, if you are found not in compliance with this regulation, you can be charged, and the penalty is as high as $500 EC, and if you do not pay that penalty, imprisonment for 1 month. This is not something which NAWASA takes lightly and wants to go around enforcing the regulations. So we are asking the general public to cooperate with NAWASA during this period.
Moving along, the project manager of Beston Consulting, a Trinidad-based company contracted as consultants for the Molyneux Land Slippage project, says work is on schedule for completion by the final quarter of this year. Mr. Joshua Akwan spoke with the Government Information Service on Tuesday during a site visit by Prime Minister and Minister for Infrastructure Honorable Deacon Mitchell. He provided a comprehensive update on the ongoing developments, highlighting key achievements, and pointed out that the team is working around the clock to ensure that the project gets completed on time.
Thus far, we have completed construction of the foundation, which would have included over 100 piles driven down into the bedrock or in situ material that was there. On top of that, we would have constructed what we call geowall, which is like reinforced earth in layers to form the base of this structure. Atop the structure, we did the base slab. We have 17 wall stems, which have already been constructed. And the next stage, we would be casting the suspended slab, which is what they tie in steel on site here for now. It will be completed this year, weather permitting, as of course we cannot control the weather, but thus far we have been blessed with sunny weather every day. So yes, as far as things are right now, we will be done within the year.
Akwan also spoke to the project's structural design, emphasizing the incorporation of features such as cells to facilitate the efficient clearance of fallen material.
We would have done some in-depth investigative work, which would have included test pits and boreholes to determine the solidity of the material that was always there. Based on those investigations, we would have come up with this design, which basically we're using backfill, which is constructed in such a way that it is reinforced, as I said before. So we have geofabric and geogrid, which gives it a structural element so that the backfill would be structurally sound to hold the weight of the structure. Atop that, we have this multi-cell culvert. We have voids within the multi-cell structure that would allow for a mini excavator to clear out any material that may fall into the area for maintenance purposes.
Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell is satisfied with the substantial progress achieved to date.
We are hoping, all things being equal, that by October, November, most of the work will be completed. The contractors indicated that they will start casting the slab for the main part of the bridge, hopefully on Friday. As you're aware, there was a very tragic accident here not too long ago. And so we want to make sure that we maintain safety and improve safety at the site. So all things being equal, hopefully concrete should start for the slab this Friday. And hopefully in the next 2 weeks or so we should be able to complete most of it and then focus on the next 2 areas to complete the bridge. So we're hoping that by October and November most of the work could be completed, and the citizens of the western and northern part of the island could go back to some level of normalcy in terms of transportation and traffic on this part of the road.
We take a break. More news when we return.
Stomp out careless or intentional bushfires, dead out. Youths, hunters, smokers, let's prevent bushfires. Here's why.
Yeah, bushfires. The shoreline's wet, crops should be bushfires. Can't eat the food, scarcity, threatened biodiversity, cause water shortage, water calamity. Bushfires in watersheds deplete water quality, threaten property, life and security. Bushfires set intentionally, what insanity.
Bushfires can cost millions in losses annually and are often caused by careless or intentional actions indictable under the law. Forests are life-giving. Save them. A message from the Fire Department of the Royal Grenada Police Force and the Caribbean Open Trade Support.
Welcome back. The Climate Resilient Water Sector in Grenada GIS project continues to make strides in its efforts towards achieving a climate-resilient water supply system. The project recently received several containers with materials to construct storage tanks across the island. 4 tanks with a storage capacity of 500,000 gallons will soon be installed at strategic locations across the country, as the National Water and Sewage Authority prepares to roll out Phase 2 of the GIS project. We get more in this report from NAWASA's Communications Assistant, Wendy Chateau.
Network expansion and increased water storage capacity will be the major outputs, representing a crucial step towards enhancing the resilience of Grenada's water infrastructure, particularly in combating challenges posed by the water shortages during dry season intensities. Assistant Manager of NAWASA's Planning and Development Department, Lyndon Bullen, explains that this tangible progress follows a meticulous planning and procurement process.
And we are at a stage where procurement process is more or less completed, materials are on site, and works are actually getting implemented at this moment. The tank bases are already being prepared, so that means extensive excavations were already completed, and now with these materials arriving to site for the tank construction, we can finally see some tank construction being taken place in the next few weeks.
The arrival of the tanks is crucial for the success of the project, and head of GIS, Marion Guys, is excited about this new development.
This is really a great day. We're finally having the first tanks on the island. So these are hurricane-proof water tanks that can hold for several days water, and they're financed by the Green Climate Fund as part of the Climate Resilient Water Sector in Grenada project, which is a joint finance project by the GCF, the Green Climate Fund, the German Environmental Ministry and the Government of Grenada. And together with NAWASA, we as GIS are very excited to see that this is just a first fraction of what the component 3 of the water infrastructure that we're putting up on the island.
Tank construction will be undertaken by the Florida Aqua Store. Representative Wayne Sinanan provides insight into the construction process, highlighting the meticulous attention to detail and safety measures employed to ensure the durability of the tanks.
After the foundation is done, the tank is built from the top down. This is possible with our specialized jacking equipment. This way, we build the first ring, we build the dome, then we jack up the tank, and we put in the other rings. After each ring, we jack it up and we put on the next ring. All our work is at ground level at that point in time. This is a very safe construction method, eliminating the need of having guys to work on heights, on scaffoldings, and all that.
Meanwhile, pipeline installation progresses simultaneously at both Mirbeau and Tufton Hall. Bullen notes that this project is advancing smoothly.
In terms of the pipeline aspect of it, these are already ongoing from late last year. We have Kenny's Trucking being awarded contract in $6.5 million EC dollars, and those are for 3 sites associated with these tanks, Mirbeau, Tufton Hall, and Montrouge, right? So these are ongoing. We are currently seeing between 30 to 40% of pipeline installation already between the Mirbeau and the Tufton Hall sites. And of course, there are some challenges and so that we face along the way, but generally we are trying to keep on top of things and making sure that things progress smoothly.
The installation of the first batch of tanks, financed by the Green Climate Fund as part of the Climate Resilient Water Sector in Grenada, GIS project, is a testament to the collaborative efforts of all stakeholders involved. The tanks, designed to withstand hurricane-force winds, are capable of storing water for several days, providing a vital lifeline during times of water scarcity. With the construction underway and the promise of enhanced water infrastructure on the horizon, the GIS project is poised to make a significant impact on Grenada's water resilience.
Thank you, Wendy. We take our final break. When we return, we tell you what are the procedures for use of playing fields.
I'm a VIP. I'm a VIP.
I am VIP. I am vaccinated. I am immunized. I am protected. Our children and nation depend on vaccination for immunization. Childhood vaccination is national priority. It is their protection from disease and sicknesses. Let's all be VIPs and safeguard our beautiful Grenada. I am DJ Blackstorm and I am a VIP health champion. Be a VIP like me.
Let's all be VIP champions.
A message from the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Religious Affairs, Be a VIP Childhood Vaccination and Immunization Campaign in collaboration with UNICEF and the Pan American Health Organization.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Youth and Sports is advising that there is a process to be followed for the use of facilities that must be adhered to at all times. Facilities are placed into three categories: minor, secondary, and major.
We have the minor, the secondary, and the major. The minor would be basically like community-based fields. The secondary would be fields that can accommodate football, cricket, and so. And the major fields are fields that have, for the least, a 300 track and have amenities. Amenities such as bathroom facilities, bleachers. They would attract a different price also than the other fields.
Mr. Damian Castle, Assistant Coordinator of Sports with direct responsibility for grounds and facilities. He highlights the process to be followed to utilize the facility and explains how the fee structure works.
They would have to do an application. That application has to be addressed to the Permanent Secretary. You state the name of your organization, or if it is just an individual, what activity you put on, when you put it on, where, and what field you would like to use. You have a contact number or email address. So once the application has been processed, then you can receive the response via the email. We have three, what we refer to as shows. So in the minor, you can be charged as a minimum $200 and a maximum $2,000. In the secondary minor, minimum $300 and maximum $2,500. And with the major, minimum $5,000 and maximum $15,000. However, we have to be mindful that there are some activities that are exempted. So religious activities, community-based activities, school sports, political rallies, those activities are exempted from any charges.
Castle says permission is granted for all activities. However, there are stipulated guidelines that must be followed by the applicant. The application should be sent to the Ministry of Sports and addressed to the Permanent Secretary at least 4 weeks prior to the intended date of staging the activity. Once approved, the required fees must be paid into the Treasury and a copy of the receipt confirming payment sent to the Ministry.
There are guidelines that are put in place whenever your application is approved and you receive that letter. You're given all the do's and don'ts on that particular field. So let us say, for example, you're hosting a show, a soca show or so. You get a permission, you'll be given all the guidelines, the do's and the don'ts. The charges also would be determined or be dependent on the amount of persons that is likely to attend. So that table speaks to all of that, the possible amount of persons that would attend the show. We have what is referred to as a reservation system. And that reservation system would allow us to prevent clashes, whereby two persons having the same date for an activity. So we can go through the system and we can say, okay, well, this date is available, so you can book for that date. That's what the reservation system basically allows us to do, prevent clashes. You apply, your application is approved. Now you can then use that to get the permission to get your liquor license, amplified music license, but you must have that permission to use the facility first before you can go further.
Community-based activities, political rallies, school sports are exempted from the fee structure for use of the facilities. And with that story, come to the end of the GIS Evening Report for Thursday, May 9th, 2024. I am Sherry Ann Noel, thanking you for viewing.